you might notice that the machine controller is essentially separated into different sections, and some of them are labeled. So for example, we have the master section, and this is where you're going to be adjusting the volume, the tempo, and the swing. Below master, you have the groups. Now for the groups, this is allow you to go and select the different groups that you're using. For example, in this project, you have drums, bass, hit, and ambience. And if you want to select which one you're going to use, you can simply select the group, and that will change the parameters on the pads. Now, below groups, you have transport. This is basically going to be what you would find in a DAW. So it's play, record, pause, stop, etc. Now, to the right, you have the pads. And the pads are for playing your sounds. You can also select sounds, mute sounds, solo sounds. It really just depends on what button you have pressed when you select one of the pads. On the top portion of the controller, this isn't really assigned a specific name, but there's sort of two parts. There's the left of the displays, and then there's the displays with the knobs and buttons. Now the display changes depending on what mode you're in. So for example, right now we are in control mode, so it shows the control mode settings. If we go to step mode, it will be the step settings. If we go to browse, it'll be the browse settings. Sampling goes to the sampling settings. Pad mode has its own set, as well as a navigate, which we saw, and so forth. Now, it's important to know how the display will work generally. If you are in whatever mode you're in, it is going to be displaying the different options that mode has. This is what allows Machine's hardware to really control all the different aspects of the software. Now, with the displays themselves, there's usually two ways that you can control the different options that you have. There will usually be the 4 different tab options that are on the top of the display itself. These are controlled by the buttons on the top. So for example, right now we're in the group settings, but if we want to go to the master, we can simply hit the button that's above it. So you can see now we're in master. Now on the bottom half of the display, there's the options that the knobs will control. For example, you can see here that A is at minus 0.9 dB, and if we want to raise this, we can use the knob to do so. Also, if there are more settings that are in the software than can fit on the hardware, you may have more than one page, and for this you can use the buttons to the left to go between pages. One thing I would highly suggest is that you simply take some time and play around with the Maschine hardware. There's a lot that you can do with the hardware to control the software, so you don't necessarily need to spend all your time using the mouse and keyboard.